Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 47 of a weekly gaming news show. I'm here as always with my man Trenell over here, and
What's going on, guys?
we got some news to talk about this week, and we got a little bit. We're gonna go a bit off topic today, but hey, welcome. Sit back and enjoy.
Oh yeah. Sit back, enjoy the podcast. If you're watching this live on either Twitch or Facebook, we definitely want to say a huge thank you. We do appreciate it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting app, good on you as well. We definitely appreciate you guys. But we're going to start things off with the weekly icebreaker. And if you're new to the podcast, it's just a question that we ask of the panel, me and Boogie, to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming topics. But this week we're going to go a bit off topic, like Boogie just said, because Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2 just came out, and I kind of just want to geek out for all that movie for just a bit. That movie was freaking awesome. I'm marveled out right now. I got my X-Men shirt on right now. I'm like oh so Marvel right now. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, so what was your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Just like general.
I loved it. It was funny, good action, good story. I mean, there's not much I didn't like. The only thing I talked about a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of Ego, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Overall, the movie was great. It's, oh my gosh, so many funnies.
Oh my god, Drax.
That guy is hilarious.
Drax. I don't remember him being nearly as funny in the first movie. I really think that it was trying to go more of a serious route with Drax because he's somewhat of a serious character in the comic books.
Right. Because they don't do emotion or any of that stuff. It's like the literal species, right? Everything they do and say is literal. But that guy, oh my! When he's in bed, and he's like, he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm imagining physical relations." Oh my god!
Oh my god! He's going on to her. And then when they were watching the fireworks or whatever, and she was like, "Oh my god, they're so beautiful." He's like, "Yes, they are beautiful, like you." On the inside.
Oh my dude!
Yeah, Drax and Baby Groot definitely stole the show for me. Groot, Baby Groot was awesome.
He kept bringing all the wrong stuff to them.
Oh my god, kept bringing the wrong. Or just in the beginning, just in the first 5 minutes of the movie when everybody's like fighting and he's like over there like jamming out. I fell in love with him instantly right there. I was like, this I'm gonna have a good time here. Just from that moment.
That movie, man.
Yeah, that movie was great. I mean, there was some discrepancies between dealing with the story. And I don't want to go into spoiler territory on this podcast, but a lot of what was done in the movie differs from the comic books.
That's been a common theme in most of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And that's a common theme in most movies. Most movies that are based off of any written sources, it changes significantly.
Right.
I mean,
they're going to have to take liberties when it comes to comic books because in some cases there's just way too much source material. Like you have like years, like decades of source material when it comes to specific characters. So I do like but like with every single, I won't say every single, but with most of the movies that have been done by Marvel Studios, I have liked their movie adaptations or the movie adaptations of certain like story arcs from the comic books. I have enjoyed them. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Thor. Thor looks good.
Oh yeah, Thor Ragnarok looks good. Homecoming looks really good.
Oh, Homecoming looks really good.
Yeah,
and then it's all building up to that Infinity War.
Yeah, I'm still stoked about Black Panther. That's probably one.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. I still need to see Doctor Strange though. I haven't seen that yet.
I have that. I have to let you borrow my Voodoo account so you can watch it.
Okay, yeah, we need to go ahead and make that happen.
I have that. I enjoyed Doctor. A lot of people didn't like it, but Doctor Strange. I used to be in the comic books like big, especially when I lived in New York. And Doctor Strange was one of my favorite characters. So okay. I enjoyed the movie. I mean, of course, like you said, there's liberties in his origin story that were taken, but it was pretty close. And I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can hit close to, I mean, and you got to understand that when they make these movies, they're not just trying to appeal to the comic book readers.
They have to get everybody else involved.
Yeah, like superhero movies have become like the big money grabbers in the movie industry.
Yeah.
So they're definitely trying to keep it close to home, but at the same time bring people in, because I haven't really been looking into like comic book sales or anything like that, but a lot of these movies actually get people interested in comics. And comic books are relatively cheap, especially if you go the digital route.
Right, and I mean with Comixology and Marvel has, I guess Marvel now, something like that. Yeah, Marvel now, but they're now putting their comics on Comixology.
Yeah.
So with those digital distributions, I mean, you can find some good deals on them. I mean, I've seen deals up to 50% off. So I mean, people still buy
entire story arcs, and the thing is, like, they help categorize them so that you can kind of keep track of like whatever arc you're in, because they'll cross over with other comic books and whatnot. Right. One thing that I've been doing is going to this one YouTuber, Comics Explained. That guy is awesome. That guy is awesome. If you want any kind of like explanation, because what he does is he doesn't go and just tell you the story. He kind of explains it from his perspective, and bases it off of like history with the Marvel universe or whatnot. He's well versed in Marvel, but he also does like DC comics. So I've been learning a lot about like DC Rebirth and how that differs from the New 52. It's a whole bunch of shit, but I've actually had a lot of fun keeping up with comics, even though I'm not buying them. Like, because I tried buying comics one time, and it was when the Ultimate Universe came. I bought like all the Spider-Man, X-Men, the Ultimate series. I was buying all because it was kind of like a reboot, even though it was like an alternate universe. But then it just started getting crazy. They started crossing over with the main universe, and then like everybody died. So I was like, all right, well, fuck this. I'm good. I'm done.
I don't like that, the mass killings. I hate when I see that. Like, they just start killing off people randomly. I understand where they're going and why they would do it, but it just annoys me when they do it, and then like 6 months later they're back.
Comic books.
Stop killing them.
Stop killing. Yeah. Stop killing Spider-Man, please.
Right.
Anyway, so that was our weekly icebreaker. You can submit questions to us for the icebreaker on our social media. Just use the hashtag weekly icebreaker and ask us any question. Normally we try to stay more video game oriented with it, but you can ask us just about anything, and we'll sit down and just talk about it for a minute.
As long as you keep it within the culture or the pop culture of gaming.
Pop culture, like gaming, like area. So,
movies aren't off limits, comics aren't off limits, that type of stuff, especially with source material for any games that's out or popular.
Yeah, well, because I believe they showed off Rocket Raccoon's special in Marvel Infinite. And it's weird because in Ultimate Marvel 3, he had like this British accent for some reason. I don't know what that was all about. I never actually, I don't think I ever actually played as Rocket in the game, so I didn't actually hear his voice. But apparently he had this like weird British accent, and he doesn't sound anything like that. It's Bradley Cooper. He doesn't sound anything like that in the movies. So in Marvel Infinite, they definitely changed it up. So everybody's like, where's my British accent? So that was pretty cool. But let us know what you guys think. And submit questions to us. We would definitely like to answer those live on the podcast. I think it'll be really cool. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the next segment, which is our top 5 news stories for this week. And I'm actually going to start things off because...
Pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. So, Darksiders 3 has been announced from the guys over at THQ Nordic. If you guys aren't aware, THQ actually went under like a little while ago. They sold off all their assets, all of their properties and everything. They were sold off to different companies. Then the studio Nordic Games, they actually bought the Darksiders franchise, and in doing so, I think they came up with some kind of like spin-off game. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Nordic Games bought the Darksiders franchise, and
they bought the IP. Yep.
They bought the IP, and then they actually bought the intellectual like property for THQ. So then they rebranded themselves as THQ Nordic. Mm-hmm. So just recently they announced that Darksiders 3 would be coming in 2018. We don't have a official release date. All we have is 2018, so we don't know exactly when it'll be coming out. But you will be playing as another one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse, because that's what.
No, you're playing as Fury.
Yeah, Fury.
The sister.
Well, they're all four of them are Horsemen of Apocalypse.
Right.
There's 4 horsemen. The first game was War. The second game was Death, and this one is Fury. They are the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse. So you're playing as Fury in this game, and I honestly can't wait for it. I think that this is going to be an awesome addition to the franchise that a lot of people thought might have died. When everything changed over. And
they still should have one more after this, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't really want to play as Pestilence though. I think is it Pestilence? I don't really want to play as him, and he looks stupid. I don't like his design. He has like he's like balding on the top, and he has the hair around. I don't know, man. They're gonna have to change up his design. I can't see myself playing a full 30-hour game as a character, and I don't even like the way he looks.
That stopped me from playing the many games.
Yeah. Yeah, Pestilence just doesn't look cool.
But this game does look cool. Darksiders 3.
Yeah, Darksiders 3 definitely looks dope, and it seems like they're sticking with the same kind of like cartoony style of art that they went with in the first 2. So
interesting to me is that the story is supposed to take place in parallel to the first 2 games, right? So at the same time that 1 and 2 are going on, this is going on somewhere else. Is that right?
Well, I think this is happening after 1 because I don't know. I can't necessarily tell. I haven't played. I've beaten Darksiders 1, and I couldn't tell you what the story was. It was so long ago, and I've yet to beat Darksiders 2. But I believe that this, or at least the scene that we're seeing, takes place after the events of 1, because
yes, it says the same time as events in Darksiders 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it takes place parallel to Darksiders 2, because I believe at the end of 1, his actions, the actions of War, kind of released the rest of his siblings.
Got it.
And so, Death went on his path to figure out what happened and why War was branded a traitor, and I guess Fury is going to be going on her own adventure. But it should be very interesting. It's coming out 2018, and as soon as I can pre-order it, I probably will. Because that's going to definitely be something I'm going to play. But I have to go back and play the original 2 first. I think.
Yeah, I just got the original 2 off of the Humble Bundle, the PlayStation Humble Bundle a couple of weeks ago. And
so you have the definitive editions, yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to start those. I just finished Horizon, so I'm looking for something to start. It's going to be that and Mass Effect. Those 2 I'm going to start on and try to get through those games now.
Okay.
I got my list. I checked it twice. I'm going to go down that list. I got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I got a ton of stuff too. I felt really good. I put about 5 hours into Horizon the other day, and then I also beat the main story because apparently I didn't beat Niho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I beat
you fought the dragon on the roof.
No, that wasn't the last boss. It was another boss. It was another boss. So I did that. And then I started the extra hard mode. It's like Way of the Dragon or something like that. It's like a higher difficulty. So you can go through the whole game on that higher difficulty. And I also unlocked the DLC. So there's DLC that I need to play as well, which is a new region in the game. So that's going to be really cool. So that's my list. Horizon and Niho.
Yeah,
I still near Automata. That's God, I hate it. I hate to, but that thing's gonna sit on the back burner for a bit.
That's on sale. I was close to buying it, but
it's like 50% off or something like that, right?
Some 35, I think.
Yeah, 30 I saw something.
Yeah, but I can't. I mean, it'll go on sale again, hopefully. But right now, I can't just keep stacking them up. I can't. I gotta play.
I mean, if they were like smaller, like indie games that didn't take like 90 hours to beat, like maybe. Right. But like, god damn, these freaking like open world adventure games, man.
These epics.
Yeah, they're too massive of a scale for me to want to jump in right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next story. And Boogie, why don't you go ahead and take this one?
This is a super interesting one. So there was a guy. He went and bought a box of old Blizzard swag off of eBay, and apparently he believes it came out of like a storage case or one of the
Storage
defunct
unit,
storage units, right? And in his box, he found a disc, a gold disc with the original Starcraft source code. And yeah, the original Starcraft source code, and it definitely was the original Starcraft source code. And because Blizzard eventually contacted him, and he sent it back, and he didn't go unrewarded. They gave him a bunch of swag. They gave him Overwatch. They gave him a copy of Overwatch, $250 of Blizzard store credit, which you can use to buy loot boxes or any in-game items from any of the Blizzard games. And they gave him a bunch of Overwatch and Diablo swag, and also they gave him an all-expense paid trip to BlizzCon this year.
Oh wow!
And invited him out to drinks.
Damn.
So I mean, he came out like a fat cat. He did the right thing. Apparently, this cat went missing. There's reports out there that had been stolen. Those I haven't been able to confirm it, or they haven't really been confirmed. But the reports are that the disc was stolen and missing for quite a while.
Yeah, since like 2000, and then when it came to creating StarCraft 2, they had to start from scratch.
Much, yep.
Yeah. So it's actually really cool that that he returned it to Blizzard, because when he posted it online that he had the source code, a lot of people were telling him that he should like dump it so that people could, tinker with it or play with it, or that he should, try to resell it now that he knows exactly what it is. But,
and the more interesting suggestions was sending it to an archiving company like archive.org.
Yeah.
So the source code. But I think he did the right thing, because it's Blizzard's IP.
It's their property, yeah.
And at the end of the day, if he did something like that, either dumped it or gave it to a third party that wasn't Blizzard, I'm pretty sure there would have been, the call he got would have been an invitation to BlizzCon.
It would have been an invitation to court. Yeah, he'd have been going to a different meeting.
Right.
He wouldn't have been getting no drinks either. He'd be getting those silver bracelets. But so this is a really cool story, and wow, it's kind of like a resolution to something that happened like almost like it's like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it was reported around 2000 that the source code had gone missing.
Right.
So this is actually really cool. Kind of just like ends an era in gaming mysteries out here.
I bet you wish they found it earlier instead of having to start StarCraft 2 from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we could have ended up with not we, because I don't play it, but they could have ended up with something drastically different, even if they did. Yeah, we never know.
Never know. Yep.
Probably would have just been like less like man hours if they kept the original source code.
Right.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We're still talking about Blizzard. So what else do we have?
We've got an Overwatch story.
Oh God, man, we've been getting a lot of these lately.
And it's nothing bad. And this is something I was keeping my eye on because of worldwide ramifications. So China pushed out regulations. It's kind of like an anti-gambling regulation, and they consider loot boxes almost to gambling, right? So their regulation says that any loot boxes, the odds must be posted for the loot box, what you're going to get out of the loot boxes, drop rates. Okay. And so, that's now up on a Chinese website. I use Google Translate to go through and find out what exactly was going on. It's kind of interesting of what you're getting out of the boxes. So the drop rates basically break down to, you're always going to get 4 items out of the loot box. You're always going to get 1 item of excellent or higher quality. It takes 5.5 boxes on average to get an epic quality, which is like the purple. 13.5 boxes to get a legendary quality item, which are the gold ones. So that's what's posted. It's unclear as to how that drop rate is for the rest of the world. In other regions, they don't know if it's the same, if it's different, or what have you. And Blizzard hasn't released that because they're not required to.
They're not required to, yeah.
Right. But it's interesting to see it, and I wonder how that's going to work across other regions. If other regions don't take the same tact as China, or they're just going to let it be. I imagine the United States don't really care, right? But there's other more conservative countries that may take this same type of tact, and it'll be interesting to see if another country did take that tack or had implemented that same type of regulation, what the drop rates are in another region.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Over here, you'll have somebody that'll just like grind out all like everything until there's nothing left. Like you'll get that over here, but yeah, I guess this is a good thing for China. I mean, I don't know.
I would like it to be here. I mean, I think it's a good regulation. When you charge somebody for something, it would be nice to know what your odds are of getting what you're looking for.
Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that there should be like two different types of loot boxes. There should be the one that you get with in-game currency that's completely random, and then when you actually spend your money, you should be able to at least see the odds of, like, you know, getting something specific, you know?
Right.
Like everything shouldn't be left up to RNGs out here.
Exactly, and you see game developers will say, well, we've coded it so that we know what items you've already gotten, and it's less likely you're going to get those items. But
yeah, but I've gotten duplicates many a times.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I question that type of coding because I see it all the time. You get duplicates all the time, like back to back. Like I open 2 boxes, and then in 2 boxes,
It'd be
the same. So instead of me getting 8, I get like 4. New items. So,
but then then you have situations like we talked about last week where the developers of For Honor never expected for players to unlock everything.
Right.
So I think they may have the same mindset over at Blizzard. They don't expect you to get everything. They want you to keep playing and trying to get everything without actually doing it.
And a game like Overwatch, I mean, to get everything, there's 25 characters, 26 characters. To get everything on every character, that's a nightmare. Yeah. And if you think about it, most people that play Overwatch, they wind up playing only a couple of characters. They don't play every character.
They don't play every
characters. And the pros may even play like 2 or 3, or maybe 1 from each
class.
Each class, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the likelihood of getting everything in that game is very low. But still, there are people that want that main Hanzo, that want all of Hanzo's stuff.
Right.
And it'd be nice for them to figure out how long it's going to take them to get it, or what the odds of them are of getting the stuff outside of and getting it out of the loot box.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Seeing as how it's been done in China, maybe other regions will follow suit. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, that is true.
That is true. So let's go ahead and move on to our next story. And in old ass freaking hardware news.
Old ass hardware. I like that.
Old ass hardware news. The Nintendo PlayStation. Okay, so a little bit of like history. Before oh god. Okay, so before the Nintendo 64 was it before that or after the 64?
It was before the 64.
Okay, yeah, so before
it was something Nintendo was their next. It was going to be the 64.
Right. Okay, so before the 64 was like developed and everything, they had wanted to go the disc-based route just like everybody else was going.
Right.
The initial deal that they had was going to be between them and Sony to collaborate on a home console.
Right.
Well, we all know that didn't happen, and Nintendo ended up going with Philips, which ended up being a freaking disaster. And then they just ultimately went the cartridge route with the 64, which prompted Sony to go and make their own system, which became the PlayStation.
The birth of the PlayStation. So essentially, Sony was like, "Hey, look, we spent all this time and money developing this thing. Let's keep it going and see where we go with it." Right.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much a sour deal between them and Nintendo resulted in the PlayStation,
right?
As we know it today.
So all of you, what they call the PlayStation guys, cows. All you guys out there, PlayStation fanboys. I think that's off of GameStop.
I don't know.
The PlayStation are cows, the Nintendo are sheep, and Microsoft are lemons.
What? I never heard that.
Never heard that before?
No.
That was in the forums. I don't know if they still do it. It was
That's
years
funny.
ago.
That's pretty funny. I wonder what the Sega dudes are called. Freaking.
There's no Sega. Because
there's no Sega.
Yeah. This was around the 360 time. It was 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii.
That's pretty funny. But so the original prototype, a guy named Ben Heck, he has the prototype, or the I guess you can call it the what do they call it? When they give out the dev kit?
I think it's a dev kit. But
yeah.
They don't say if it's a dev kit or if it's a prototype. They just says it's Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah, so whether it's a dev kit or the actual console or whatever, this guy Ben Heck actually has it, and it works.
He got it to work. If you're unfamiliar with Ben Heck is a hacker extraordinaire. Mm-hmm. If you go to his website, you go to his YouTube channel. I mean, he's made portable PlayStation 3s, PlayStation 4s, portable Xboxes, portable Wiis. He does all this crazy stuff. I think he even has a product line now that he does. He'll custom build you something if you ask him to, controllers, game systems and such. But he's been doing it for years and years and years. He's actually pretty known in the hacker space. Yeah. Pretty well known in the hacker space. That's why he got the PlayStation, because he's good at what he does.
Right.
And he got this Nintendo PlayStation working. And it's not an official game, because I don't think anybody's found an official game that had been in development for the system. Mm-hmm. But developers have been writing games based on how they think the architecture of the Nintendo PlayStation works. Mm-hmm. And the game he got to work on the CD-ROM was one of these third-party developer hack games.
Yeah, I think he had like a Bomberman running on there, and like a version of Street Fighter 2 running on there. So that's actually it's pretty interesting, and something that I heard about a while ago. I remember I believe that it came out of same situation with the Blizzard source code. Somebody bought it from an auction. It was somebody at Atari. It was his like storage unit. Mm-hmm. He worked at Atari and he had it. So when somebody bought it, and I don't remember the original buyer, but he went looking. It went just sitting in his attic for a while until he actually got on the internet, got online, and tried to figure out
what it was,
what he can do, like as far as selling it, or what it's worth, get a price on it, and then it kind of just blew up from there. And one YouTuber that I watch, Super Bunny Hop, he actually got a chance to go out and play it.
Oh wow!
So it's really cool. So that thing. I believe it was touring around for a while. The guy was touring with it and allowing people to come in and play it and see it and whatnot, which is awesome. So
right, yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool piece of history. It's nice to see gaming history
preserved,
brought to the light and preserved. Exactly. Instead of just fading away into obscurity and into oblivion, essentially.
Yeah, just gone in the dust or whatever.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of cool. It's super cool, actually. It's not just kind of. It's super cool. I think me and you, we need to pull together and start buying some of these, going to some of these stores like auctions.
Dude, I wish I still had some of my original stuff, man. I think the oldest console that I still own, that I owned from back in the day, is my Super Nintendo. I still have my Super Nintendo.
Oh, really?
And I still have my N64. I still have my Dreamcast. And then I still have my OG Xbox.
Okay, I'm worse than you, because the oldest system I have right now is the Xbox One S.
Damn, you don't even got the 360 no more.
and that's horrible, because me growing up, let me go through the systems I've had. I've had the 2600, had a 5200, had a 7800. Those are all Atari systems.
Yep.
I had a ColecoVision, had a Nintendo, had a Nintendo Rob.
Had the Rob? Oh Lord.
Sega Master System, had a Sega Genesis, had a Super Nintendo, which was actually my brother's, but I count it because it was in my house. Super Nintendo. I had Sega Saturn, had Sega Dreamcast. I had Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and I even had a 3DO.
Damn. I think the most obscure console that I had was a Sega Game Gear, and I think that's in here somewhere.
Skip the Sega CD. I had that too.
Damn, yeah, I didn't have any of that. I went
any of that stuff, and I'll tell you what, I was keeping all my systems. I actually had all my stuff in a box in my closet. When I went away to college, my stepdad threw my crap away.
Damn.
So heated. I was so heated because in that box I had my original Nintendo. I had I had the Nintendo. I had the Super Nintendo. I had my Sega.
Not like this.
I had a whole bunch of stuff in there that I was keeping because I wanted to keep it, right? And once I threw it away, I was like, I mean, what am I going to do? I just like, I'm done with it.
Damn, that sucks, man. I believe some of my early stuff got lost in storage. Lost in storage, quote unquote. Yeah, that's where like my original Nintendo NES and my Sega Genesis and all those games went. But yeah, so the oldest one that I have is Super Nintendo. Yeah,
and it was actually, I'm pretty sure it was that we had like a little storage unit in the backyard and was in there. I'm pretty sure like he was cleaning it out and it's like, oh, where's this junk?
Damn, I'd have been pissed.
Yeah, I wasn't happy, but I mean, I couldn't fight him.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would have fought somebody for that shit.
It was just gone.
Oh, man.
Pretty sure it was a Super Nintendo. My Genesis was in there. My Sega CD was in there. The systems I had before that, my Nintendo, I don't think I still had my Master System, but I had the original Nintendo in there. The Atari 7800 was in there.
You had the 7800 too? Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Was as well. My brother wanted that, and he got it.
I've never even like touched one of the Atari systems before.
Yeah, the 7800 was actually not a bad system, but it was Atari's swan song. It was just
it was late in the Atari console cycle. Yeah.
It's like a Dreamcast type deal where it was like they burned us so bad we're not going to bother with it.
Yeah. Like I think the Atari was like the first dudes to do backwards compatibility too, right?
Yep. You can put a 2600 cartridge in there and be off and going, no problem.
Damn.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. But yeah. So it is a good thing that these things are being preserved, and it's also another good thing that they're being, showcased around the world so that people can see it for themselves, because a lot of this stuff would have just been like lost to time if it weren't for these awesome people in the community. So good on them, and I can say that I'm happy that this is a thing, and hopefully we can get some more prototypes down the line out in the world.
So yeah, some older stuff that we may not even know about, that somebody was working on somewhere.
So that was cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And what do we have?
E3. It's a bunch of E3 stuff going on here. And so we got, first off, Nintendo has decided for the second year in a row they're not going to E3. Yeah. They
haven't held the main stage since like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, it's been 5 years, but there seems to be like it was sometime in between that they showed up there.
So they're just not going to be at E3 at all?
They're not having a presser for sure, but it's unclear if they're going to do anything there at all.
Oh wow! Period. Okay.
So that's what that second because previously they had stuff there.
Well, they always do their little treehouse event.
Yeah, last year they weren't there at all. Remember? Were they? No.
No, they had. There wasn't last year the year where they had like only Zelda and that was it. Or was that the year before?
Maybe the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's possible, yeah.
I think they're always there. They may have not. I think they always have like a show floor thing. Maybe they're not doing that. I don't know.
No, yeah, but it said in all the stories I read, it's the second consecutive year no Nintendo presence is what they said. So
oh wow,
it may be that like you said they're not like they showed off Zelda, but they didn't show it on the stage or something to that effect, or have their own booth or something. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. But I could be talking about the previous year where they did that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know that they usually always do their like little Nintendo Treehouse live stream on like YouTube and Twitch and whatnot. They show off stuff, but yeah, they haven't taken the main stage since like
2012. Right, it's been 5 years.
5 years, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They there's no mention of if they're going to do anything. The CEO, what's his name? Kimishima. Kimishima, right? I'm saying it right? Kimishima. Right. Whatever. he unveiled this in an investor conference, and one thing that they took note of is that he mentioned that there's a lot of third-party support interest in Switch, which they believe is to say Nintendo's really not going to show anything. If anything is shown, it's going to be third-party showing Switch games.
Okay, so like if Activision or Ubisoft has a conference, they'll show up. They'll have the Switch there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, damn. I mean, why spend your own money when somebody else will spend it for you? You know.
Right, and it looks like Nintendo's all in with these Nintendo Direct events. That's their thing.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Nintendo Direct.
Because it's not just limited to whoever's at E3. Like everybody gets to see the exact same thing.
Right, and again, it's something they can control. Again, we talked about
control.
During the episode, we talked about the conventions and how they're not nearly as popular as they have once been. And it's Apple. Apple started it, and everybody else has followed, and it's worked for pretty much everybody when they can control. I mean, it works when you can control the story, and you can control the story coming out,
control the message,
and you don't have to share the stage, right?
True.
Unless you're doing the PlayStation event, and then it's a disaster. Oh man!
So what else we got coming out of E3 news?
We got the E3 Coliseum. Which is apparently, they're opening E3 up to the public now this year.
Yeah, the public is going to be going. Is actually going to be there as a part of Infinite Inventory. So
that's awesome.
Look out for that. That's actually going to be really cool. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch them up.
Yeah, him and Reggie are going.
Okay, cool. But yeah, the Coliseum is just basically panels and presentations. Think of what do you call Penny Arcade or Comic-Con.
Okay.
Those type of panels. It looks like it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be hosted by Jeff Keighley.
Okay.
So
very highly respected gentleman in the gaming journalism community.
He's everywhere.
I like him. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they'll be streaming it. They will be streaming most of the events, and there's a stream schedule that they've released. But yeah, there's that.
And that's the thing that I don't like about that is that when you have like things that are going on like parallel, like you're gonna miss out on like when it happens, and like if something big blows up and you're watching something else that you miss it and you gotta learn about it on Twitter, like that's a part of it I don't like.
If you're there, you can just run to the net. You can run to the theater that is happening right now.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, the way it is today, it's less likely because everything is streamed, right? So you can be sitting in the theater watching. You can be sitting in the theater watching, Jeff Keighley at one of the events, and something else is going on. You can pretty much have it on your phone, tablet, or laptop, and keep up with it there as well. So, in today's technology, you rarely miss much.
True.
Unless you're sleeping, that's when you miss everything. Just sleep.
Yeah, sleeping or at work.
Right.
You have no access to the internet.
Right. But then also they've got the E3, the PC gaming show is back again. I think this is the third year in a row for the PC gaming show.
Dude, all I remember was the first E3 PC gaming show where that joint was long and boring.
Yeah,
I think I skipped the second year just because of how the first year went down.
Yeah, I mean it's PC stuff. They get really technical. That's where you start losing interest. But yeah, it's back this year, and what's funny is what's interesting is the main sponsors changed. It went from AMD to Intel.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so that's happening. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a standard PC gaming show. It gives PC community something they need because the PC community, and we even do it. They get neglected. I mean, they're the preeminent platform. PC is the platform. But they don't get talked about a lot. But yeah, they've got their event coming up, and then Sony announced that their conference date and time. I think it's at 6 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. On I want to say.
When is it?
Crap. June 11th.
June 12th.
The day after Microsoft. That's right. June 12th. Yeah, so Sony is out, and then and this recently, I mean not recently, but a little bit after I finalized the notes here, E3 released a full schedule of all the events and the streaming, so that's out there as well. I have links to that in the notes, so you can go and take a look at the events the scheduling and streaming. But E3 seems to be a little packed. It looks like it's going to be moving, I think, for the better, more to a public event,
okay,
and less of an industry insider event, because they're losing interest with the industry insiders. Everybody wants to do their own thing now. Everybody wants to, like you said, control the message. And I think Microsoft and Sony are probably always going to be there because they are the leaders. But even when they are there, I mean, for instance, Sony didn't show off their PlayStation 4 Pro or PlayStation Slim. They showed that off at their only event. Mm-hmm. I mean, at their own event. Microsoft is going to be there. They're going to show off Project Scorpio, which is kind of cool because, again, companies have been moving away from showing their stuff off there. But Microsoft also changed the date and time that they normally show off so they can have have that day all to themselves. Yeah,
it's all about controlling that message.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as always, we're going to be watching E3, and we're going to be I'll probably be like live tweeting everything. So I can't wait till that goes down, man. E3 is always, for better or worse, it's always interesting to see what these different companies bring to the table. Hopefully Ubisoft brings Aisha Taylor back because she's a delight.
She's I like her.
She's a delight.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So that was our top 5 news stories. If you would like to submit a story to us, you can do so through social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. You can also leave suggestions in the comment section on YouTube or wherever you are consuming this media. You can leave us comments. We'll definitely look into them. And if you have a story that we think is worth talking about, we'll definitely talk about it. So before we go into our next segment, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the new Challenger Discord for Street Fighter V and soon to be Injustice 2. They just put out a press release saying that they will be going into Injustice 2 with the same style and the same format that they did for Street Fighter V. So if you're new to the Injustice scene, you want to get good, say for Street Fighter, if you're new and you want to get good, you want to test your abilities, the new Challenger Discord is definitely the best place for you. Go to www.newchallenger.gg for more information as far as techniques. You can get one-on-one or group training sessions with some of the coaches, and you can also sign up for, I believe, bi-weekly tournaments held live on Twitch, and most of those tournaments do come with prizes. So definitely a good time to be had. You should also you should also check out their Twitch page, twitch.tv/ and I think they changed the name. It's New Challenger TV is the name for the Twitch channel, and I'll put the actual link in the show notes. But go ahead and check those guys out because they are doing pretty much daily live streams with coverage on Street Fighter, and I believe they're going to be doing the same thing for Injustice as well. So you get a lot of knowledge, from a very dedicated group of players in the fighting game community. So shouts out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the New Challenger Discord, and as always, a big shout out to Mount Lover, who is a coach on Street Fighter V, and he's actually gonna buy a PlayStation 4 so that he can get Injustice 2, so that he can, give the same dedication that he did to Street Fighter V. So definitely big ups to him because he hasn't bought a console in years. It'll be his first console in a while. So big ups to Mount Lover. He's a coach on New Challenger as well as a commentator for the North American tournament. So check those guys out. Links will be in the description /show notes / wherever you're watching. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is our quick hits. And the quick hits is the part of the podcast where we go over a few stories that don't necessarily merit a deep dive the way that we do in the top 5 stories for the week. So the first story that we want to talk about, go ahead, Boogie, and what do we have?
Remember the NBA, excuse me, the 2K Sports NBA E-League That's going to be starting next year, 2018.
Yep,
Well,
I remember.
We got the 17 teams that's going to be in their inaugural season. Some big names there. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the team. The Golden State Warriors are going to be hosting the team. The Knicks, another big team or classic NBA team, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Washington Wizards, Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons, Miami Heat. There's some big teams. If you're watching the stream, there's a image. You can see all of the teams, but Celtics, Cavs, Mavericks, Pistons, Warriors, Pacers, Grizzlies, Heat, Bucks, Knicks, the Orlando Magic, 76ers, the Trailblazers, Kings, Raptors, Jazz, and Washington Wizards are going to all field teams in 2018.
Okay, so we don't have the entire NBA with their own esports league, just a few of them.
Right. That's a little more than half. I think there's either 30 or 32 teams in the NBA, and they have 17 of them that have committed for next year or for the first season. So look for that to start next year, and we'll see how that goes. I'm interested to see how that's actually going to work out.
Yeah, me too. Because we talked about the stadium that's being built here in DC.
In DC, yep.
For being tailored for esports events. So yeah, we'll as soon as that thing opens up and they have some tournaments going on, I definitely want to check it out for myself.
Yeah, that's definitely a day trip. Definitely going to go down there. Absolutely.
What's next on the list?
The next thing we have on our list are Injustice 2 DLC characters.
Right.
The first 3 were released. You've got
Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. You also have Starfire, and you
Teen
have
Titans.
Yeah, from Teen Titans, and you have the Red Hood. Which if you're not really well versed in DC Comics, he's a part of the Bat family. He was the second Robin, but then he changed his alias, so he's the Red Hood.
The Red Hood, yeah.
If you played Batman Arkham Knight, then you know who the Red Hood is. But yeah. Seems pretty cool. They also showed off a little silhouette that gave away 2 characters, but then the rest are kind of just left to the imagination.
There's definitely going to be Raiden, right?
Yeah, Raiden is one of them, one of the definites, and the other one is Black Manta.
Yeah, Black Manta, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, seems like it's going to be a pretty cool roster. A lot of people, even Ed Boon was kind of teasing on Twitter that there would be more third party, and I'm actually kind of surprised that they're going with so many Mortal Kombat characters. Initially there would be only one Mortal Kombat crossover character, and the first Injustice, the only one that they had was Scorpion.
Right.
And so in this one we have Sub-Zero and Raiden, and a lot of people are speculating that the one on the left of Black Manta could be Johnny Cage, just because of how regular dude he looks, in the silhouette.
In his stance, yeah. I don't know. I wasn't Injustice 1 fan. I was on the fence with Injustice 2. I know my brother wants to get on Xbox, but I think I'm going to get on PlayStation since our buddy Mount Lover is going to get it and coach people.
Yeah, he's going to get that, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I had the original Injustice on Xbox, and I don't know, man. I think it's just something with me. I just don't like how the NetherRealm games play necessarily. I just don't like the way they play necessarily. So we'll see, but I'm just not really looking forward to just getting my face bashed in.
Yeah, I do like them. Like I said, I played Injustice. I loved Injustice, Doomsday, and who did I use? I used Doomsday, and I can't remember. It's been years since I played it last, but it was another character I used a lot.
I tried to, that's the thing. I tried to get into a lot of the different characters, and none of them really resonated with me. I think the only one that I thought was remotely okay was Catwoman, and she was really low on the tier list.
Yeah, so, I used Doomsday. I used a little bit of Joker. I hated Superman. I was good with him. I was okay with him. I just hated him. I hated the Flash. I can't think what's wrong with me. Well, whatever. But yeah, I'll probably wind up getting Injustice 2. And you know, when I buy these games with the DLC, I get the DLC pack attached, the Ultimate Edition, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
because it comes with like all the characters or
right.
whatnot. So you know what you're getting for the
Right.
most part. But yeah, a lot of people have just been trying to speculate. The one to the left of Raiden, a lot of people have been saying that that's Azrael. If you played the Batman Arkham Knight, he was like one of the like side mission characters that you fight against him or whatever. Was in the comic books he was like wanted to be a part of the Bat family, but it turns out like he was like a maniac and was like killing motherfuckers. So and I can actually see that his like little cape thing and like the little hood that he has on, it kind of gives off that vibe. But I have absolutely no idea who the female is next to Raiden on his right. And I can't tell who those other two characters are on the left or right of Black Manta. There's no way to tell.
Right.
But it seems like they're going to be doing like something similar to how they did in Mortal Kombat X, where they'll release a certain amount of characters and then they'll release them in a bundle, and that'll be like Injustice Pack 1 or Injustice Pack 2, or whatever. And this isn't going to be all of the characters.
No, and
I'm pretty sure they're going to have more as well.
Right, I think they might go the same route like Killer Instinct has started and with Street Fighter V with the seasons, the season 1 characters, season 2 characters, and however long they can keep this game strung out.
Yeah. So all of the characters that we're seeing right now are probably in like Pack 1. But we'll get them over time, and then they'll bundle them all together.
It seems like there's going to be 3 packs, right? This is the first pack with really? Red Hood, with Red Hood, Starfire, and Sub-Zero, and then the next 2 packs are coming out afterwards. And it looks like it's 9 characters, so you assume there's going to be 3 packs of 3.
Okay.
My guess. I mean,
hopefully there's more because I want to see like some more third-party people like Spawn. Spawn was a high voted contender.
But he's not a DC character. Who is he?
I think he's like Image Comics. Image,
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane does all the toys. Yeah, he's something like that. But I would love to see Spawn. Yeah, Spawn is nice. Yeah, I still want to see a good Spawn movie. Goddamn, Michael Jai White.
Yeah. What's it called? Ed Boon's a troll, man. So he'll tease stuff on Twitter. Yeah, and you never know whether or not it's real.
Follow him.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter. Yeah.
And then the Darkside. There's one other character, Darkseid, who's a pre-order bonus. I think
Darkseid.
Get him from GameStop only.
I have no idea.
GameStop. But all right, let's move on to our final story. Yep. This is an interesting one, and this had been reported a while ago. It was by Gama Sutra when they went through the entire Xbox Project Scorpio dev kit. They just talked about it. Well, there was a video released by the Windows Central. Windows Central is a Microsoft centric blog. Okay. It was the editor released a short video of the Xbox Project Scorpio dev kit, and man, it looks pretty sexy. Yeah. It had the big talk is there's an OLED screen that gives you readout. It gives you the frames per second. It gives you performance readouts. I guess there's multiple functions to it. There's a button that lets you change what's on the display, and there's also 5 programmable buttons on top of the CD-ROM slit. So it's interesting. It looks cool. I have my fingers crossed because I want that display on my Xbox.
Yeah, that thing looks cool, man.
Sexy, man. And I mean, OLED, I guess it's kind of expensive, but it's pretty small. It's not a huge screen. Implementation shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I'll pay extra $10, $15, $20 for the Xbox if I get that nice pretty screen.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be my upgrade because as of right now, I still have the OG Xbox One. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for pre-orders to open.
Yeah, no, it's already bought.
Yeah, without question. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that thing looks gorgeous.
It does. I mean, it looks if you're not watching the stream, it basically looks like the Xbox One S is one on top, black on the bottom. It looks like a little bit taller than Xbox One S is, and it has the CD slit is to the left, in between the separation of the black and the white, and just in the middle there's a screen. Probably takes up about a third of maybe about a quarter, maybe of the length of the device. And what's something that was cool that I read about this is that they took the fan off at the top. Like the Xbox One S vents, Xbox One OG, they both have fans that vent through the top.
Right.
There's no fans on the top of this, at least on the dev kit. It vents on the sides, which lets the developers stack them up to 10 high.
Yeah.
Without having any kind of homemade rigs to keep them cool. So that's kind of cool. I would like that also in my Xbox One.
Yeah, because right now, like previously, I used to always stack stuff on top of stuff. Like the Xboxes were pretty much like as far as the original Xbox, that was like the biggest console that I've ever had, and it was so massive that I couldn't put something under that, but I can put something on top of it.
Right.
And everything like vented out to the sides or the back or whatever or what have you. But yeah, the Xbox One vents off the top, so I don't want to stack anything on top of that.
Right. We know about Xbox and
overheating. Yeah. You don't want that. You don't want that problem.
No, not at all.
But yeah, man, it looks fantastic, and this is just the dev kit, so who knows what the actual Scorpio is going to look like.
Right. Usually the consumer product is a little more polished.
Right.
So if the dev kit looks this nice, I can't wait to see what they got in store. But I will be disappointed. Color me disappointed. It's not going to affect my resolve to purchase one, but I will be disappointed if I don't get this nice OLED screen.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool, and especially if it can show, different different specs or whatever.
I've told you this before. I don't necessarily care about frames per second, read write, or any of the performance stats. I just want a simple clock.
Hey, that'd be dope too.
I just want a clock, and if it's a pretty OLED screen with a clock, is nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And like, especially if you're using like the TV function, where you can see like your network or station or channel that you're on.
That you're watching.
That'd be pretty cool.
Exactly. That'd be cool. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that was our quick hits. Let us know what you think in the comment section about this or any of the stories that we have talked about today, and also submit stories to us. If they don't get to the top 5, if you submit stories to them, they'll most likely be entered into the quick hits. So go out and just interact with us. We'd love to hear from you guys. But with that said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is the long form discussion. And for this week, we're going to be talking about shameless ripoffs, from characters to levels to full-on games. So let's go ahead and deep dive into this shameless ripoff. So Boogie, you have something very specific you want to talk about.
This came to me because a couple of days I'm playing. I'm talking to my brother, and he's like, "Play this game Paladins with me." And I said, man, you got to be kidding me. Because if you don't know, Paladins was in beta it was in the closed beta a few weeks ago. It's now in the open beta. It's looks like a free-to-play game. It's on Xbox One and PlayStation. The PlayStation one just released. I have been playing on Xbox for a few weeks now. But it is... it takes heavy inspiration from Overwatch. Now,
yeah.
The character models, the level design are unique. The game actually has mounts, which I still don't understand how it works, because essentially you use the mounts to get you from your spawn point to wherever you're fighting real fast, and that's it. After that, you don't really see them again. But the character designs, so you go through a tutorial and you're using this character, and immediately I recognize this character as Soldier 76. Now, it doesn't say he's Soldier 76, but the way he plays, he's Soldier 76, all the way to the grenade launcher he has.
Wow.
There's enough differences in the characters and their abilities and how they use them for them not to get in trouble with Overwatch or Blizzard. But it is blatantly clear that they took a lot liberally. They were very liberal with borrowing from Overwatch.
I'm looking at the art style, and it's kind of like that cartoony like art style as well.
Yep, it is absolutely. And
yeah, I'm looking at gameplay right now. This is pre-alpha gameplay that I'm actually looking at, but Yeah, I can see the similarities like right away.
Yeah, and the play from the gameplay is King of, it's not King of the it's the hybrid. Well, in the beta it was the hybrid. Capture the point, escort the payload. Same
Okay.
exact. Um, I mean characters from Farah. Same guy that has the temporary jetpack that shoots rockets. They have a guy that plays like Reinhardt. They have a guy that plays like Junkrat. They have a guy that plays like, it's just blatant. And
I remember hearing. Oh yeah, I see the Reinhardt guy right now. As soon as that shield popped up, I was like, "I see you, boy."
Yep. Same thing. And I guess you don't fault them for it. And you mentioned even before we started, it's something that you see a lot in the mobile game space.
Right. Yeah. When I think of shameless ripoffs, and not like just like hacking a game, because back in the 90s you would have like these like low end like Chinese companies just rip off games. Like they'll have like a cartridge, right, for the Super Nintendo, and it'll say like Sonic the Hedgehog 5 or something like that.
Right.
And like that was like some like Chinese like hack or rip off or whatever. And that was kind of like the only thing that you would really hear of until the mobile scene really became what it is. So now you have these super blatant ripoffs. I remember before Super Mario Run came out on Android, you had like Super Plumber Boy Go or something like that, and it was blatant. It was just, and I honestly don't know how they got a lot of that stuff onto the Android marketplace at all.
Well, the Android marketplace is the Wild Wild West. They're still working to clean that up.
Yeah.
It was like that on iOS, and they're both working to clean that up. But it is difficult because you have these indie developers. It's not extremely difficult to develop for either Android or iOS, and they just throw the game in there, get some ad revenue, and they don't really care when it gets pulled. If they get it in there long enough to make a few hundred, a couple of $1,000s in ads, they're happy with it. And when it gets pulled down, they just throw another one up. So I mean, that's like a whack-a-mole type situation. But
yeah.
I mean, game ripoffs have been going on for a while. I mean, from blatant stuff that led to lawsuits, like and this is going way back. There was a game called, and I forgot what system it was in, Philips maybe, I forgot who it was, but KC Munchkin. You ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, Google KC Munchkin. It is a blatant 100% rip off of Pac-Man. All they did was change some of the sprites. This is like back in the 80s. Another one that's well known and led to a lot of lawsuits was Tetris. The official Tetris for Nintendo and the Tengen version of Tetris. Remember the Tengen with the black cartridges and the silver labels?
Yeah, that was more like nobody knew who actually owned the rights to the Tetris IP.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right, so Nintendo thought they had the official one, and Tengen just made their own one, which was exact same game.
Yeah, Tengen actually came up with a whole bunch of ripoffs. Like, I think they had some ripoffs for like Wolfenstein, but instead of like shooting like Nazis, it was like Noah's Ark 3D.
Right.
And like you were shooting like sheeps and rabbits and stuff. No, yeah, I'm dead serious. Noah's Ark 3D. I am dead serious.
Oh no, I know Tengen was bad because they got sued really bad. They got sued hard by Nintendo because they're making unlicensed games. That's why their cartridges were black and shaped differently.
Yeah, it's because Nintendo was making it hard. Well, not making it hard, but they were limiting the amount of games that people could put out.
And it was because of the game crash.
The game crash, so they weren't trying to have
too
many games on the market. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, you got stuff like that, and I mean, for mobile and big games, and when I say big games, I'm talking about the PC console games, right? I think the problem with PC and console games is consolidation. There's less people out there making games, and when you get a small player out there, and there's less people willing to take chances,
Definitely.
So everybody's looking to get something, and they want to get money for whatever they make. So instead of people taking chances like they did maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon of something that's hot. And Overwatch is one of the hottest games going for the past year. So,
man, how many stories have we talked about with Overwatch over the last like few weeks?
And Activision just had their earnings call, and apparently Overwatch is close to earning them or has earned them over $1 billion in the past year. So it's huge. 30 million users, $1 billion game, right? But yeah, I mean, it just my take on this is I hate to see entire games ripped off. I mean, small things where you take assets from, not assets, but you take ideas from a game. For instance, Call of Duty adding wall running after they saw the Titanfall demos. Stuff like the UIs when people copy menus. I mean, if a menu works, you see a menu design. One that was in the headlines the past year was No Man's Sky. When they ripped off or they copied some of the menu functionality out of Destiny. That type of stuff. I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, your game is original enough to copying a menu doesn't really make a difference, or copying a feature doesn't make a difference. But when you blatantly one for one copy a game and release it as something original, it's problematic, I guess.
Yeah, and Paladins is not looking too original, like in any sense of the word.
No,
I'm looking at a guy who plays like the little dwarf dude.
Yeah, the Torbjorn dude. Yeah. Yep. The guy
I'm watching him right now. I just saw Mercy.
Yeah, I mean it's one for one. It's
I don't know what these little cards do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like they're like boost.
Okay.
And that type of stuff, but that's where the
he actually looks like Torbjorn or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. If it's doing an open beta, we may have to play this.
Stop it.
Just for the lulz.
Stop it. And what's funny to me is when I played it, I didn't think it was a bad game. It's not a horrible game, but it's a game I already have.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's people out there that don't have Overwatch, that would never play Overwatch, maybe never even heard of Overwatch, which I find hard to believe. There's people out there, I guarantee you. There's at least one. But they'll play this and they'll go look at Overwatch and be like, "Hey, Overwatch is copying this," and that's what bugs me right there. Is where, a game is
people
not
uneducated.
Yeah, a game is not original, and the source that this game comes from, it overtakes the source, and that's bad. And I have a good mobile example of that. I don't know if you know this. There's a puzzle game called 2048. It's like a number puzzle game. You get little tiles, and they multiply in twos. It goes 2. You add 2 and 2, you get 4. You add 4, and it goes up to 2048. Okay. But that's actually a blatant free ripoff of a game called Threes. Threes came out. It was a paid game. It was like $1, and was on iOS only. And then this 2048 game, like 1 million of them. It wasn't even just one. Like tons and tons of them showed up, and they just ate into Threes' profit. And it came to be known that 2048 was the game, and Threes was kind of like 2048, where it actually should be flipped, where Threes was the original game and 2048 was the blatant copy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. Yeah, because you get a lot of ripoffs from like the super popular games. So like when Minecraft was really blowing up, you started getting a whole bunch of those kind of like Roblox and Cube World, like you get all of those kind of like pixelized, like pixel style like builder games,
right? And it's one thing to copy an art style, or maybe even that's one thing, but just to like do blatant cut and paste. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they've done enough to not get in trouble as far as differentiating the characters. Hey
man, they got horses, dog. Overwatch ain't got no fucking horses.
Those weird ass horses.
Those horses look weird as hell, dude.
They're all
super muscly.
Like they're super tiny compared to the characters. Like they're riding ponies.
Yeah. They're super fucking like muscly ponies out here. It looks weird. I'm looking at it right now. It looks weird to me.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, it's always been a problem. I think, like I said, the bigger problem is the consolidation, and the fact that there's less studios out there and less people willing to take chances. I mean, just look at Call of Duty. It started off with just Infinity Ward. Now they have 4 studios, right? They have 3 studios that work on it, and then another studio that works on DLC, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Man, I didn't even know that.
They have like 3 or 4 people, maybe even more, that work.
I don't think all of them are actively working on them. I think Infinity Ward is one, and whoever is making
Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer, they take turns.
I don't think is Treyarch still. I thought Treyarch. I thought they backed out.
Treyarch backed out of making Call of Duty games.
I thought that Sledgehammer took over for Treyarch, and then it was just them two.
I thought they were still making them.
I could be wrong. I haven't touched a Call of Duty in a long time.
Me either. Yeah, they did Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Treyarch.
What was that? Okay, Treyarch.
Yeah. They did Black Ops 2, they did Black Ops. And Black Ops 3 was 2015. So the last one before this one, Modern Warfare. I mean, no, what's this?
Infinite Warfare.
That was the Infinity Ward, right? And then the next one is Sledgehammer.
Okay, so yeah, we got 3.
Yeah. Damn. So yeah, they just take. I mean, they just take turns.
That's crazy that you have 3 separate studios working on the same IP, man. Mm-hmm. All that talent.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. That talent is now just sucked into 1 or 2 IPs out there, and they're not out there making new, exciting games. I mean, they're not making Praise, and they're not making Darksiders 3, and they're not making For Honors. They're just
time
all
splitters. No, I'm just kidding.
They're all making Call of Duty, and like I said, I'm pretty sure that's like,
wow, this is like this chick has like this character has the freaking machine, like the freaking diva. Yo, like this is crazy.
You still looking at that?
I'm still looking at it, man. This is crazy.
I'm telling you, it's a 1-for-1 ripoff. There's one character in that game for each character in Overwatch. I think they even have a character that matches the newest character, Oriza.
Wow, really?
I think so. I don't remember exactly. I mean, it's like I said, I must have played like 8 or 9 of the different characters, and it's like, come on, man, really? Come on. Just, ugh.
Oh my God, she just did the nerf this. Oh, this is crazy. All right, anyway, I'm done watching that. Yeah, no, like I was skeptical as how far they would have gone, how close, how 1-to-1 it actually was. But after watching, I'm just like, really, bro? Come on.
Play, and the thing is, it's not a horrible game, but it's a game that's already exists, So, I fear that this is going to be something that's going to be becoming more and more common as you get big popular IPs that are super popular, that are traditional games. You're going to get these free to play, because I've noticed a lot of these are typically free to play. Small developers making free to play games that's loaded with microtransactions. Another game that you might argue me down, or other people might argue me down, is Warframe. Because it came out around the same time as Destiny. It's essentially the same game.
Oh yeah,
it's essentially the same game, but it's a free to play type game.
Yeah, I don't know. Warframe plays a lot differently to me. I don't necessarily like Warframe. Warframe has a lot more like platform. Well, yeah, I guess you can. I don't know. I think they play different enough. Like they don't feel 1-to-1. I haven't played that game in a long time.
Yeah, it's like some of the play is different, but if you play it long enough and you play both of them and do comparison to what each of them does, there's a lot of stuff that matches up. It's a lot.
I would say that this one is being Destiny a lot less than Paladins is trying to be.
By far. Yeah. I mean,
yo, freaking. Paladins is like the Floppy Bird to Flappy Bird. It's the same game, bro. Come on now.
It's the same exact game.
Jumpy Bird.
Yeah, Jumpy Bird, Flappy Bird, Floppy Bird.
Oh,
and
man.
They changed it. Like they had a whole bunch of different animals that they changed it to. It was odd. And what's funny about Flappy Bird is that it was still a Nintendo assets. Yeah. So did he even get in trouble for that? I don't
think so. I remember he took the game down because he was tired of people raging at him or something.
Yeah, I think he took it down before.
He put it back up though.
Oh, did he? Did he put it back? I know he was
I think
supposed to be
it's back up.
making a game even. But yeah, I mean that's where it stands. I don't necessarily like it because it's again it's the consolidation, and it's gonna be it's almost like the movie studios, and all you get is these big popcorn blockbusters, and you don't get many great films. And it's
True.
gonna be it's the same thing with gaming now. Is you get all these huge blockbusters, and you do get. I mean, this year is a perfect example. You get some great games.
Yeah.
You do get some great games, but you don't get anything that's new and fresh. And when I say anything that's new and fresh, not necessarily character and story wise, but gameplay wise. I mean, when's the last time you found? I mean, for as great as Horizon Zero Dawn is, it's a third-person shooter that's in the same vein as a Tomb Raider. Played it before. When's the last time you saw something? I mean, For Honor is probably one of the few games that's just new, fresh, something that we haven't seen before, and that's what we don't see much of anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yo, I can't get over Paladins. I can't get over it. That shit killed me, dude. We're gonna have to play that. Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's free
for the lulz.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation and Xbox. Tell me, I have it already downloaded on Xbox, but I can get it on PlayStation just as quick.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play that. That should be funny.
A weekly gaming news plays, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Is there any other examples of shameless ripoffs that you have noticed? You know, something that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section or wherever you are consuming this media. But yeah, that was our long form discussion, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to our final segment, which is the final thoughts. And this is where we just go back and revisit the different stories for today and kind of give our last 2 cents on each story. And I'll go first here. I'm really excited for Darksiders 3. I feel like that's going to be a very fun game. And I haven't really read into it much, but I really do hope that a lot of the people behind the original 2 are working on this game as well.
They are, yes.
They are? Okay.
Yes, they're the studio. What's the studio now? Gunfire Games.
Okay.
The original studio was Vigil, right?
Vigil. Yeah.
They say a lot or quite a few of the Vigil developers were hired by Gunfire and are working on it.
Okay, so that's awesome. So yep, freaking dreams fulfilled on that one. So yeah, really excited for that. I think it was really cool that the guy gave back the source code. It kind of just brings an end to a very interesting story from yesteryear, and it's also cool that he got like probably over thousands of dollars in swag.
I mean, just the triple alone, right?
Yeah. So he probably tripled his his actual purchase or whatever, just with that swag. The Nintendo PlayStation, like I said before, I believe it was touring around for a while. So anybody that actually got a chance to play that, that's freaking awesome. I think we might have to start going to some of these like gaming conventions just to see stuff like that. Because we actually have a couple that are in our area. We have
up in Baltimore, right?
In Baltimore and somewhere at the National Harbor as well.
Yeah.
So we should start checking those out. Maybe we can get our hands on some of them and give you our impressions of it. That'd be really cool thing that we can do. As far as E3, can't wait for it. Like most of the time, I'm gonna probably be at work trying to watch and just catching up on everything later. That's usually how I do it. And as far as Injustice, really excited for the reveal of some of those characters, but I don't think that I'm gonna get the game, just because I'm just not a huge fan of the NetherRealms like style of fighters. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay.
Well, what about you? What's your final thoughts?
Well, I'm definitely going to start Darksiders 1 and 2. Darksiders 3 interests me. Hopefully, I mean, based on your description, is something it seems like I'll like.
Yeah.
So, definitely interested in Darksiders 3. Yeah, kudos to the guy that returned the source code. I mean, like I said, he got some suggestions. I've online dump, give it to archive, but essentially it's an IP that belongs to Blizzard and Activision, and their lawyers and they pay lawyers a lot of money. So
Yeah.
dodge that bullet like a champ.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the Nintendo PlayStation. I hope we can find more of these rare finds, just for preservation. We want to archive it. See it, maybe experience it and archive it. So we know the full history of all the gaming systems. Because think about it, if it weren't for Nintendo, there'd be no such thing as Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope. Yeah. One for them making bad deals.
Yeah. What else?
It would be a much different gaming landscape.
Oh yeah.
If Nintendo and PlayStation would have stuck together.
Yep.
They would have been the juggernauts in the game, dude.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Think about what happened. Sony overtook them. Sony basically relegated Nintendo to second, and now Nintendo right now is third, playing catch up.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it wasn't, we might not even have an Xbox if it weren't for Sony.
No,
right?
Because Microsoft probably would be like, "Hey, we ain't jumping into that. Fuck that."
Yeah, right. It's just been Nintendo and Sega, dead Sega, right?
Yeah, Sega would have been dead.
Right.
Everybody would have just jumped on the Nintendo Sony bandwagon and just been third-party developers for one console or PC. Pick your poison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
E3. I'm excited about E3. The thing I'm most excited about E3 on E3 is that Microsoft will finally open pre-orders for Project Scorpio.
Oh man. Amazon's gonna crash.
Amazon. Oh yeah, I guess if you order from Amazon, I'm ordering from Best Buy. I want my Best Buy points.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I actually have a gift card from some games that I sold from a while ago. So I have about $50-something. So
yeah, I buy most of my electronics from Best Buy unless there's just a ridiculous deal somewhere else. But even I have Prime. And if I show them that I have Prime and show them the Amazon price, they match it. So
what?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah,
I did know that they press price match, but not for like Amazon Prime. That's crazy. If
you show them that you have a Prime subscription, they'll match it. Absolutely, they match the price. I've done that many a times.
Going to Best Buy tomorrow. No. I found this on Amazon, bro. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, they'll match it without. They don't have to get a manager up there. It's like right in the little codes in the cash register. It's awesome.
Cool.
Like I said, Scorpio. I can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. And I want that beautiful little OLED screen. Let's hope that they keep it. So nice, a beautiful OLED screen. And Injustice 2, I think that's good. I have been on the fence. I've been waiting, but like I said, it's good. If it's like Street Fighter, I like Street Fighter 5. I like Street Fighter, but I prefer the NetherRealm type games. Okay. More than the Street Fighter. So with new challenges jumping in on Injustice, I'll join their Discord and learn, take my hard knocks and start knocking people hard.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. I learned so much from the New Challenger Discord, and while we're on the topic of them, let's give them one final shout out before we leave. The New Challenger Discord. Go to newchallenger.gg for all information currently on Street Fighter and soon to be for Injustice 2. Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel, we want to give him a huge shout out, and also to Mount Lover, who is a commentator and a coach for Street Fighter 5. And will be training himself to be a coach for Injustice 2 once it drops, because he's going to get a PlayStation 4 for that. So yeah, if I get the game, it'll be on PlayStation 4. Also, check out their Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/New Challenger TV. They changed the URL, so definitely check them out at their brand new URL and check out some of their weekly content. It's also uploaded to their YouTube channel as well. So, those guys are awesome, and I have no problem shouting them out.
Yeah, definitely. And just real quick, are they going to have support for Xbox and or PC?
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's no PC.
That's right. There's no PC.
No PC version. So, what they're doing is they're like regulating different channels to PlayStation support and like Xbox. So they'll have to split it, because it's split. So. But Mount Lover, he's going to be on the PS4.
Okay, cool. Renegade.
And, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to be doing the same for other upcoming games. We got Tekken. So if there's any Tekken players, they'll have New Challenger for that. And then Marvel's coming up. I plan on getting that. If there's any fighter coming up, it's going to be Marvel that I pick up.
I'm thinking about getting Marvel too, so that'll be another one I'll jump in. But I'm definitely interested because like I said, I'm a big fan of Injustice games. I like it. I like them a lot, and I like the first one a lot, I should say. I had it for PS3, and I've got it for the PS4 as well. And yeah, I'm definitely going to. I was on, like I said, I was on the fence because mainly I was on the fence because I didn't know who I'd be playing with. But with the Discord opening up Injustice channel, I'm definitely going to be getting it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I really didn't see any characters that I would necessarily want to play. Robin looks a little cool.
Joker, man.
Joker, Robin looks cool with the blade as Damien this time around. So
he's grimy.
Yeah, he's grimy, dude. Grimy little motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah, so that was our show. You can reach us on social media. We are on Twitter at AWGamingNS. We are also on Facebook. You can reach us at a weekly gaming news show or just type in AWGNS. We are also on Facebook. YouTube. We don't have our own custom URL, so you can use the one on the screen here. But if you're listening, that is tinyurl.com/AWGamingNS. All of these links will be in the show notes and in the description so that you can reach out to us and let us know what you think about the show. If there's any suggestions that you want to throw at us, we'll definitely take those into consideration. And for the ones that listen to us on their favorite podcasting apps, we definitely want to thank you. But Boogie, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to us?
We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on TuneIn Radio. We are in the general podcasting directory. So if you have a podcatcher that you use, any of your podcatchers on iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, or wherever else you get your podcast from, we are there. You can search us at a weekly gaming news show, or you can use our call letters AWGNS. We're still looking for comments and ratings. So if you go to iTunes, if you're on iOS, go to Android. Google Play Store if you're on Android, and rate us, leave us a comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see. And like I said, like Trenell said, tweet at us, go to Facebook, give us some ideas, ask us some questions if you want to hear us talk about something, and maybe even the long form, or if you want us to get an idea for one of our weekly icebreakers, just let us know. We'll definitely take a look at it, and if it fits, we'll stick it in there.
Right, and we're very close to our 50th episode, and we would like to do something special. So any suggestions that you guys may have for that, throw them at us. We want to do something special, but if we don't really get a lot of feedback, it's going to be kind of hard for us to just give something away to somebody who's like unknowingly getting something.
Right.
Yeah. So we want to give something out to you guys, especially the ones that are actively supporting us and watching us on a weekly basis. We definitely want to give back to you. So let us know, something we could do for our 50th episode anniversary, maybe like a Q&A or like or anything, something special. But we're looking for ideas on that. But I think we've rambled on long enough. Let's go ahead and end this. We are a weekly gaming news show. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.